back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Let's do it. Always up for a good tactical breakdown.
Well, today we're looking at a match that honestly had me on the edge of my seat. Manchester City versus Chelsea. And yeah, we know City's usually the favorite, especially at home.
Right. And Chelsea's been, well, let's just say inconsistent lately.
But this one had a twist, like a hidden subplot no one saw coming.
Oh, yeah, the debut. Right.
Exactly. We're talking about Khusanov, a $33.6 million signing. The Standard Match Report really dives into this, so we're going to unpack it all. Debut, huge price tag. NAD playing in front of FIFA president Gianni Infantino. Talk about pressure.
Woof, no kidding. And don't forget, City was already missing a few key players. Aki and Diaz were out. Stones barely made the bench.
So Khusanov gets thrown in, right? This guy was playing in Belarus just a few years ago. Now he's in the Premier League spotlight.
Talk about a whirlwind, huh?
Okay, so 4 minutes in, things go a little sideways. Khusanov, he misjudges a bouncing ball, tries a back header, but it ends up going right to Chelsea's Jackson.
Yeah. And Jackson doesn't waste any time, passes it to Medwick, who puts it in the net. 1-0 Chelsea, just like that.
I mean, can you imagine? I would be mortified. Premier League debut and boom, own goal, basically in the opening minutes.
Mentally, that's got to be tough, right? Especially at that level, with that crowd. You have to have serious mental fortitude to bounce back from that.
I mean, it makes you think, right? Does that one mistake then mess with your head the rest of the game?
It's possible, for sure, and you could see it maybe in some of the other struggles he had, misplaced passes, that yellow card. Was he overthinking things? Trying too hard to make up for that early error?
Yeah, and remember, he was kind of the last man standing on defense with all those injuries.
Oh, totally. And from Chelsea's perspective, that early goal totally changes their game plan. Now they're not just trying to survive. They've got something to defend.
It's like that first move in chess, you know? Everything shifts.
Exactly.
But City, they're not known for giving up easily, are they?
Nope. They started to claw their way back in. Foden hits the post, a couple of near misses, and then boom. Right before halftime, Gvardiol gets the equalizer.
That's the thing that struck me. He almost scored a couple of times before he actually did. Talk about persistence.
Oh, absolutely. But it's also about City's style, right? That constant attacking pressure. They force defenses to make mistakes, and Gvardiol, he was ready for that opportunity.
But for Chelsea to score early and then give up that goal right before halftime, oof.
Talk about a momentum swing, right? Talk about going into the break with a completely different feeling.
So halftime, 1-1. Khusanov's probably wishing he could rewind. Chelsea's proven they're not backing down. And City's. Well, City.
Can't count them out, that's for sure.
Second half's got to be a nail-biter. So 1-1 at halftime, the second half. Did it live up to the hype?
Oh, it definitely delivered. And I gotta say, the Khusanov situation, it just kept getting more interesting, right? He comes off early in the second half.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Was that tactical?
Yeah.
Or was it, trying to protect him after that rough start?
I think it's a bit of both,
Yeah.
honestly. It's tough to say for sure what was going through the manager's head, but...
I mean, I get it, right? If a player's struggling, maybe you give him a breather, especially a young guy in a game like this.
Exactly. But then you also have to consider, what message does that send to the player? To the team.
Right. It's almost like a lack of confidence, maybe?
That's the thing with football. So much is about psychology, and sometimes those decisions, they have ripple effects you don't even see right away.
Okay, but even without Khusanov, there was still plenty of action, right?
Oh, yeah. This is where we really see those big names shine. Haaland, Foden, and even Marmish, City's other debutant.
Oh, yeah, Marmish. I almost forgot he was out there, too. The Egyptian forward... another huge signing for City.
Yeah, nearly 60 million, if I remember correctly. And, his debut was pretty much the opposite of Khusanov's.
Well, that's got to feel good, right?
Right. Early in the half, Haaland almost puts City ahead. Sanchez makes a great save. And then there's this beautiful sequence. Haaland sets up Marmoush. Just wide.
Oh, so close.
But you could feel it, right? The momentum was building. City was going to find a way through.
And then it happens. Haaland does what Haaland does. Break it down for us. What happened with that goal?
Okay, so Ederson, long ball forward. Haaland, he uses his strength to hold off Chalobah, who, unfortunately for him, slips at the worst possible moment.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And Sanchez is out of position, so Haaland, he just lifts it over him. Cool as you like. 68th minute, 2-1 City.
Another goal that comes from a defensive mistake, but this time it's Chelsea who pay the price. And Chalobah, he was just back from a loan spell, wasn't he?
Yeah, so much going on in this match. It's like layers upon layers of narrative, debuts, comebacks, those individual stories are what make it so compelling.
Totally.
Yeah.
And City, they weren't done yet, were they?
Nope. Foden, he'd been threatening all game, and then late on, he puts the game to bed.
Third goal. How'd that one happen?
Haaland again, actually, with a perfectly weighted pass to release Foden, one-on-one with Sanchez, and Foden slots it home. 3-1 City, game over.
They just know how to win, don't they? Even when they go down early, they don't lose their cool.
It's impressive, right? That composure, the belief in their system, it's what makes them champions.
So big win for City. They jump ahead of Chelsea in the standings. But I think there are bigger takeaways here, right?
Sure. I think this match really highlights how small the margins are at this level. One mistake, one moment of brilliance, it can change everything.
It's a reminder that even the best teams can be vulnerable.
Yeah, and on the flip side, even a team that's struggling can cause problems if you give them an inch.
And man, those contrasting debuts.
Khusanov and Marmoush, it really shows you that in football, you just never know what to expect.
I mean, you got to wonder what was going through their heads, right?
Yeah.
One debut goes completely wrong, the other one pretty solid. That's got to mess with you mentally a bit, right?
Oh, for sure. That psychological side of it, it's huge. I mean, especially with the big transfer fee, instant pressure to perform.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder about Khusanov, right? Can he bounce back from this? Or is this, going to shake his confidence?
That's the question, right? Some players, they thrive on that pressure. Others, it can really set them back. It takes time to see how a player will react. And it's not just talent either. It's that resilience, that ability to learn from mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess for City, it's how they handle it too, right? Do they give him more time? Maybe in some lower pressure games?
Right. Maybe cup matches or something. It'll be interesting to see what the manager does. Does he still believe in him? Does he get another shot in the Premier League anytime soon? Who knows? But hey, we've been talking a lot about the players. What about the tactics? Anything stand out to you?
Yeah, true.
Well, one thing I noticed, the way City reacted to that early goal, they didn't panic. They just stuck to their game plan.
Yeah, they didn't just abandon their style, did they?
Nope. They just kept the pressure on, waited for Chelsea to make a mistake. I mean, that's what champions do, right? They trust the system.
And speaking of champions, Haaland and Foden, man.
Unbelievable.
Haaland, that goal was just classic Haaland, wasn't it?
Just waiting for that one little opening. And Foden, his movement, his passing, just top class.
It's a little scary to think they can still get better.
Right. And then you add in Marmish. I mean, City's future is looking pretty bright.
So we've seen it all today, right? You've seen good debuts, bad debuts, tactical battles, brilliant goals. But I guess the big question is, what does this all mean for the rest of the season?
Right. Can anyone stop City? Is this going to be another runaway title for them? What about Chelsea? Can they turn things around?
Guess we'll have to wait and see, but that's the beauty of football, isn't it? Always keeps you guessing. So that's it for this deep dive. Hope you enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure dissecting a match with you.
And for everyone listening, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you on the next deep dive. Until then, keep on loving the beautiful game.